so I'm going to record it. So how to stay connected. Instagram, that's another good way. It's not as interactive, I don't feel, but it is. Facebook, obviously, is a good way to stay connected. And do a Facebook Live. You know, people want to stay connected with people that they know, like, and trust. And so, you know, people make, as race car drivers, Drew's a promoter for the Midwest Compact Touring Series, you know, people are way more likely to follow your racing career, follow the series you run, whatever it is you might do, if they feel like they really know you. And it's not just how you race or where you race, but it's also, who are you? Karen's a chiropractor. Audrey's a student, you know. Tina works for, is it Napa?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, there's things you know about people. And so there's a connection there. So maybe, you know, Delaney and Tina both work at auto parts stores, right, Delaney?
Yep, yeah.
AutoZone. So they have a connection, but people want to know who you are. Do you have a family? Do you show pictures of your pets? Who are you? And there's no better time than now to get that out there. And really, that's your brand. You are your brand. And so I encourage you to, you know, show a little more about your daily life. Show a little bit more about what you're thinking about being shut in. You know, I went to the grocery store today, and I'm going to do something tomorrow on this. I went to the grocery store today. I go about once a week, roughly, and I've been hearing about, you know, all these different things that they're out of. And every time I've gone to the grocery store, other than toilet paper, honestly, I've been able to buy everything I wanted. Well, today I had a list of about 20 things. I couldn't buy green beans. They didn't have any. I went to 2 stores. They didn't have any tomato soup. Now, I live on chips and tomato soup. That's like my comfort food. I like to dip my chips in the tomato soup. There was no tomato soup of any kind, not Campbell's, not off-brands, nothing, at Meijer or Harding's, 2 of the biggest stores in Kalamazoo. No tomato soup. There was no lemonade like my husband drinks. There was no bluebonnet margarine, which is what we use. And I could just keep going down the list. All the things that were on my list that I could not buy. And it was like, whoa, this is really getting me concerned now. And so my relationships and my friendships and staying connected with people is something I can control. How many cans of tomato soup they have to sell at Harding's, I can't control. So I want to be serious and intentional about staying in touch with all of you, because you're my friends and we want to build that relationship. So staying connected through all these social medias, Facebook. So do a Facebook Live. I'm going to do one tomorrow about not finding the things I wanted. So, you know, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, LinkedIn. I don't know how many of you use LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn a lot, and it's good. It's a good way to stay connected. I've met so many cool people on LinkedIn. That's another good way. Twitter can be kind of a negative one, but it's also a way to stay connected. How about if you got some people together and you did a little train and you drove by some people's houses that you know race. So today is my granddaughter's birthday, and there were several cars of her girlfriends, and they did the little drive by and handed her the gifts and the cards and whatever. And it just made her day because she thought she wasn't even going to get to celebrate her birthday. So, you know, schedule a drive by, or say, hey, if you race at Kalamazoo Speedway, why don't you meet at the park and ride, and we're going to drive out past the Speedway, or whatever it might be. So I don't know. There's just so many ways that you can stay connected. Cards and letters. So that's one thing, obviously, that I do a lot, the cards and the letters. I just sent out in last week, I sent out about 250 cards. And I've gotten so many responses. And if your name ends after, who's calling?
That's me. Sorry.
Oh, okay. If your name ends with anything after like H, you probably haven't gotten a card yet. And so, it's just a way for me to stay connected. And I've gotten so many responses from people about getting those cards. So that's how I do it. And I take your photos from Facebook and I put them on those cards. And that is so fun for me to do that. So how about writing a blog? If any of you like to write a short little blog that tells what you've been doing or how you're thinking about all this, or put something on Facebook, some kind of positive quote or a picture, whatever it might be. Tell some kind of story about something funny that's happened. My daughter brought me an Easter basket last week, and it had candy and stuff in it, but it had two little baggies, and it had homemade masks in it. Mark's was camouflage green. Mine was like the pink bandana print. And she had made us some masks, and then there was a white, like, something in the middle of it. And she said, "Oh, those are pads that women buy when they're breastfeeding, but it works great inside. It works great inside the mask, and it honestly, it has like a really nice smell to it." So that was my Easter basket. Who would have thought I'd have gotten a mask in my Easter basket? But tell a story on Facebook, write it out, do a Facebook Live, do an Instagram, let people know who you are. Because one thing that we want to do as race car drivers, as promoters, is we have a brand. And so we want it to be the best brand it can be. And we want people to buy into us. So one of the things that I found that I wanted to share with you is, it says, in your life and in your business, people buy into you. It's not because they like, maybe they like the color of your race car, but basically they buy you. And so Karen, as a chiropractor, they buy you because there's lots of chiropractors to choose from, aren't there? But
I can honestly tell you, my car, because I race a daily driver, my car sits out front, so it is known as the dock is in sign. And so when my car's out front and the stickers are on it, and they go, "Oh, they call and they say, "Okay, where are you located?" "Oh, it's where the car with the stickers on." "Oh, we know where that car is." I mean, there's no question. And we did, like you were talking about, a drive thing. We went over to the hospital and arranged just an afternoon Facebook post and put the car, and mine's the Tesla with the doors that go up and down. Mm-hmm. So we waited till right at nighttime, like dusk, and everybody did their lights and blew the horns, and we got so much publicity about it. And the workers came outside, the healthcare staff came outside and waved to us, and they were videoing us and we were videoing them. Uh-huh. The newspaper, the TV station came out. But more so than anything, we showed what good things racers can do.
Right.
And because sometimes, guess what? We don't really get the best name around.
Sometimes we don't.
But, oh, wow. It was just the easiest, no cost. Mm-hmm. Kids were in the car. It was something I told them, I said, go by the drive-thru, get some food, eat in the car, and then we'll go do this together. Right. We had the best time. And I'll put some links up for that.
Okay. In Kalamazoo, a bunch of people got together, and they were mostly like, it was fire trucks and all kinds of stuff, but they did that and drove down by the hospitals, and that was on the news. That was really cool. So, everybody's got stuff that goes on, and so share your story. Let people in as much as you're comfortable so that they really get to know you, because they make a connection to you. Then they establish a relationship with you, even if it's through social media. They build an emotional attachment to you, especially if we're talking about people at the racetrack, because, if they feel like they really know you and they come to watch Aubrey race and and Audrey, you know, is in the pits and she's friendly and she likes talking to people and takes pictures, then they build that relationship, and then they have that connection to her. They're going to cheer for her on the track. And then, so ultimately they buy into your brand, and you are your brand. So I want to encourage you to, I know all of you pretty much on here are working. So, you know, but you don't have to do it every day, but find some ways to share yourself more personally and build those relationships. So that was one of the things that I wanted to share with you a little bit. So anybody have any comments about any of that or questions?
We recently did a t-shirt giveaway on Facebook, and we did it as a live. And we posted a piece in the morning that said like, comment, follow, share, whatever you're going to do to this post, and that'll enter your name into the drawing. And I had more people on that one post than I've ever had on anything else.
Yeah. And see
just
how
because I was giving away a t-shirt.
Right. And that's just so easy. And when she talks about giving that away, that's Audrey, you would have thought I had prompted you to do that, because the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is one of the things that somebody said to me, they were talking to me about something, and they said, well, you know, people feel so entitled, like, you know, that like the world owes them everything. And so one of the things that we actually talked about at one of our trainings for send out cards is that the world does not owe you anything. You owe the world, and you need to find out who you are and give yourself away. And so what does that mean? It's not just a t-shirt. What it means is give back. And we know that once you give out, it comes back tenfold. I truly believe that. So right now is no better time than to find somebody or something that you feel strongly about and give or do as much as you can to help whoever that might be. And maybe it's somebody you know through racing or through work or whatever, but I just want to encourage you to, you know, don't feel like people need to do for you. You need to do for others. And I'm talking to the choir here because I know who's on here, but so let's talk a minute about who do we need to stay connected to. Not our work people, because obviously we're going to see them, right? But how about family that you can't hug? Like I saw Maddie today. It's her birthday, but I sat the gift down and she got it. And I said, no, I'm not going to hug you. And McKenna leaned out the door and yelled at Mama. But I always hug my granddaughters, and I couldn't do it today. So even though they live right here, that's really hard, you know. And so who should you stay connected to? Your family, your friends, your racing family. What about the track owner? You know, these track owners, a lot of them, I don't care how big or small your track is, have a hard time making it in a good year, much less this year. And so send them a card, send them a message on Facebook, however you might be able to get a hold of them, and just say, or even like Midwest Compact, Drew and Woody are on here. They run the Midwest Compact Touring Series. We don't know when they're going to get to start racing. So send them a note, reach out to them on social media. Say, I was just thinking about you today. I know this is really hard. I really, you know, what, blah, blah, whatever you want to say. I don't have to tell you. Track owners, promoters. What about kids in your family or kids of your friends? So I send cards to little kids, and if I can put their picture on it, they get so excited. They get so excited if they can see their picture on a card. Or what about teachers? What about your chiropractor or your doctor or, you know, somebody you went to school with?
Right. It's your neighbors.
Your neighbors. Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton of people, you know. Think about the guy that delivers your paper or the mailman. Put a little note in the mailbox that just says mail person. You know, it's not going to cost you a stamp. They'll pick it up and read it. And
yeah, my my cousin and uncle work for UPS, and my cousin actually posted one of those little like UPS guy care packages up on Facebook, and I thought that was cute.
Absolutely, for sure, because gosh, they walk up into those houses or on those porches. You don't know what's inside going on.
Hey, Angel. Hi.
Hi, Angel. So,
Can you see me or?
I'm gonna yeah, we'll see you here in a second, I think. There you are. So think about, or who do you know that's
Did
in
I
the
get on
military?
here?
So send something to somebody that's in the military.
I got it.
Your hairstylist, whoever it might be. Okay. Yeah, Woody, did you cut that yourself, Woody?
Did you watch the live?
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
I did it for cancer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I shaved it on. I shaved it on live.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. All right. So anyway, you know, there's just so many people in your life. If you sat down and made a list of the people you know or the people that you depend on in a normal day, you know, where do you take your dry cleaning and just tons of stuff. So reach out to those people, say hello, say when you go through McDonald's, hey, thanks for staying open so I can get my iced tea or whatever it might be. So I wanted to encourage you to do that. And then so we've done the why do you do it? How do you do it? I'm sorry, how do you do it and who? Now we're going to say why. So the reasons I came up with why I would want to say something to somebody and stay connected and build that relationship would be because I appreciate them, just like going through McDonald's. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you. If somebody's done something nice, like my daughter brought me the Easter basket or whatever, you know, there's been some people that have done a couple nice things for Mark. My neighbor went to the store one day and got me some stuff. So thank you. Maybe it's just thinking of you. Send a text to somebody and say, hey, I was just thinking of you today. I hope you're doing okay. Whatever it might be. What about a life event? So we're all on Facebook. I know that. So what if you're on Facebook and you see somebody has a baby or they got a new dog or they got a different car or they post a picture of their race car or 1,000,001 other things that people put on Facebook. Make sure it's something that's positive. And you know, just reach out to them and even text, Facebook, whatever, and say, hey, that's a really good looking car. Or, hey, I was thinking about you today. I'm glad you posted. Are you doing okay? Whatever it might be. It can be short and sweet. Holidays, obviously, Easter was just here. There's probably going to be more holidays coming up that we're not going to get to celebrate together. And so reach out to people or put one of those little banners on your Facebook page that says, you know, happy Memorial Day or whatever it is. And then what about marketing and promotion during this time when we're quarantined? So 80% of the time we should build relationships through friendship. You know, like, hey, Drew, love your haircut. You're looking great. You know, I'm glad to see your face on here tonight. So, you know, just something like that. 80% of the time, that's what it needs to be about. Oh yeah, look at that. So Woody's been doing coloring books. If you don't know Woody, he does photography at a lot of the racetracks, Galesburg and Kalamazoo to name a couple. And I've known him for a really long time. In fact, he was one of the first people that I talked to about forming the IWMA. And so, yeah, he's been posting pictures that he's drawn or done graphically for coloring books for these racetracks. Just reach out and say, hey, that's really cool. Get a hold of him and say, hey, how about doing my cards, hero cards. What a great time to reach out to him and say, here's my car. In fact, I was going to tell him to put that on Facebook. This is a great time you could still social distance and take pictures of people with their cars to put on their hero cards. It's a great time to do it because a lot of people aren't working. Right. So 80% of the time it's personal, friendship, celebration, and 20% of the time you can market yourself. So what does that mean? that means that 20% of the time that if you want to, and I know you're in quarantine and you're not racing now, but once we go back to racing, you know, thank those sponsors. And really now is a great time even to reach out to them. Say, hey, I'm sorry we're not racing. I can't wait to show off your logo on my car. You know, when we get started back up, can I bring my car to your place of business? Whatever it might be. So there's so many ways to stay connected, but even in the quarantine, I think we still are a little bit selfish in some ways to that we have this little bubble that we are in, and we don't think outside of it enough to really connect with other people the way we could. And I had a conversation with someone, and we were talking about what is the new normal going to look like?
Mm-hmm.
The new normal is not going to be what we've known. There's just no way it's ever going to go back to that. So the thing that I am trying to do, one, is find all the positive things that are coming out of what has happened. And then what is my new normal going to look like? Am I going to be able to have events at the racetracks? Probably not this year, maybe next year. I don't know. Am I going to be able to hug the people that I've made friends with and see them when I go to the racetrack? I don't know. There's all those unknowns. And so I try to find the positives. I've been really busy. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of podcasts, recording podcasts, because the people that usually are really hard to get a hold of this time of year because they're so busy working and racing.
Yeah.
Now they're not. So many of them are not. And so I've been able to record quite a number of podcasts with, like, Natalie Decker. I've got a new one that's going to come out with her. I just did Lee Spencer, she's been in NASCAR forever, reporting on that. So that's the why. That's, you know, the why is appreciation, thank you, all that. The who is family, friends, promoters, track owners, former classmates, and the how is all the things that we mentioned. So that was kind of what I wanted to just share with you tonight. So does anybody have anything they want to talk about or share, or how you doing? Anything that you're doing to pass the time that might help somebody else? Just raise your hand and Delaney?
I actually now have a lot of stuff to do, because when I started driving home from work today, my truck started making noises. So now I have plenty of stuff to do.
Yep. Things like that happen. Karen?
Well, yeah, I first of all, prayers for your car or your truck. I know what that's like. So, but speaking of prayers, this has given me a wonderful opportunity being a Racers for Christ chaplain, because a lot of people are reaching out right now and going, what do we do? And, you know, when we're all busy at the track, yes, it's nice, see them and wave to the Racers for Christ chaplain. But now, guess what? This is when our work really begins. And so I thought, just like churches and not being able to go to church in our area because of the social distancing and not going to church for Easter, and it just blows your mind to think you can't go to church for Easter.
Right.
But just because we won't have it at the track doesn't mean that I can't do a Sunday morning 15-minute service just like I would normally do at the track. But now, instead of doing it once a month, because we were in the Optima series, we're going to do one every Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, like you said, getting to do more instead of less. And I say I'm just the instrument, you know.
Yeah.
Now God's going to give us more material than we ever thought that we would have. You know, how many times can you talk about the winner, the last will be first, the first will be last? And, you know, everybody comes up with the different sermon topics and things, but we have more material, more association with current events that, you know, you think of things in the Bible happening. Well, that was a long time ago. No, it's today. And, you know, to, you know, be in your faith and be willing to share with others. And so all I can say is I just did a recording that I put onto the International to the Optima Streetcar Association that said, hey, I'm getting ready to be on the International Women in Motorsports. Please go and check that out. So we gave you guys a plug too. And that's the thing, is keeping us all together and keep our faith and keep us worshiping. And it's given me a whole new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And, as many racetracks as we've lost in the last however many years, even the last, let's say 5 years, I'm really concerned about that we might lose some more, or a bunch, and we can't get back racing. They still have to make those payments and all those things. And so, and that's not a small amount of money. So, reach out, especially to people like that are still trying to keep things going so that we can have a place to race when we come back, and support those people, because I wouldn't want to be a racetrack owner right now, or a series owner, or any of that. I mean, it's hard enough doing what I'm doing because nobody's spending any money. The memberships have all stopped, and that's okay. I was really looking forward to doing all those events this summer, and there's a reason why I can't, and that's okay. They'll be bigger and better next year. But it's a crazy time, but we do need to stick together. So that's kind of why I wanted to start this. So anybody else have something they want to share? Audrey.
A couple of you may know, I know Melinda, I think you know. As you can see behind me, my dad recently bought me a new vinyl printer and a vinyl cutter. And so now I'm playing with all of that stuff. Like right now I'm trying to make my vinyl cutter work. We just bought another one because the one I bought before was not being nice to me. So I'm trying to do all that and get all this school stuff done. So I'm definitely staying busy.
Yeah. Woody's real good at all that too, Audrey. So if you ever need any help or say, hey, Woody, what do you know about this? Woody does a lot of that up here in the Michigan area. So you guys need to get connected. Yeah. So Drew, what's going on in Chicago? Are you working or?
Oh, I'm actually working right now while I'm listening and talking to you ladies. Okay. No, we're on lockdown just like everybody else. It's the most important thing is to keep your mind healthy. If you need to go outside, go for a walk. Mm-hmm. Woody knows that. I go for a walk every day. I give him a call for about 45 minutes while I'm out walking. Just socialize with people. If it's FaceTiming, phone time, whatever. Keep your mind healthy. Keep your expectations that when this slowly opens, that racing isn't going to happen right away. Right now, I'm seeing non-racing events for July and August getting postponed. I don't want to send any self-alarms out there, but we're making plans for 2021 already.
Yeah.
I think we'll see race cars on the track at some point this year. And it's going to be different states. Like I see South Dakota's racing this upcoming weekend on the 25th. Kenny Strager's on his way out there. So just keep marketing the sport. These promoters, if they do open, there'll be some that will probably run a partial schedule this year. Support them. Don't give them a hard time for running 4 races versus a full season. Woody and I are in that same boat right now. Like if we get to June, what are we going to do with our schedule? Are we going to just run 4 or 5 specials? Because most importantly, as a lot of you know, we'll be short on money with being laid off. I'm lucky to not be laid off. But 40 of my race car drivers that travel from New York to Wisconsin every year aren't going to have that budget to do that. So I have to keep that in mind when I do my schedule. So just be respectful of those promoters. They have to make a decision that's tough for them. And like Melinda said, send them a card, send them some brownies. Everybody likes those send out card brownies.
Yeah.
And it's going to be easy. If you see somebody taking a shot on them on social media, stick up for them. That promoter will remember it and might have a pit pass for you next time you come into the racetrack. So,
yeah, good ideas. Good ideas. Anybody else have anything you want to share or anything? If something you want to talk about, say, hey, it's open right now.
I've been doing things around the house that I haven't been able to do. Being involved in racing as heavy as I have been, things have been not getting done. I think I washed my blinds today for the first time in 10 years. I finally got curtains in my house. I've never had curtains in my house.
Your mother appreciates that.
Yeah. No.
The neighbors for sure.
Drew can attest, when you walk in the back door, my dryer was just packed full of crap since last fall. Drew was going to be pleasantly surprised that room is empty, freshly painted today. Wasn't expecting to do that. And I've been spending time with my daughter, getting her, instead of the weekends, and getting her, I'm picking her up tomorrow for a week. That's why I had to leave when I first got here. She called, she was dressed, ready to come over right now.
Yeah.
But also, you were talking about meeting friends and stuff like that. Don't forget those that's suffering. There's a reason that I cut my hair and my beard looks like this, because I helped support Gary, not Gary, but who was it that started the face mask challenge?
Horvath, wasn't it?
Horvath started the face mask challenge. Gary came out and did it, did some hair coloring in his hair, and I said, you know what, that gives me an idea. I did my face mask challenge and did it for cancer, and while I was doing it, you guys haven't seen the video, go to my feed, watch the video. As somebody put on there, it's like watching Britney Spears. I'm talking, next thing you know, I got a razor in my head, and I start shaving my head. The beard was down to here, the hair was down to here. Actually at one point I had a bowl on my head, and I was teaching people how to bowl cut like grandma used to do. It was,
you got to watch it and watch. I didn't see Horvath, but Gary House is really funny. He talks about rules for men and manscaping and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's very funny. So watch
that's where
Woody and Gary Howe. They're both really, really funny.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've seen Donna Howe laugh in my lifetime.
I know. I was a little shocked too. That was cool to see that. So,
but since I don't have time during the race season, some people keep me busy getting the stuff done around the yard and the house.
Yeah. I've seen I've seen a lot of people, that are sorting and pitching like I'm doing, and I'm thinking, wow, Goodwill's going to be really busy when this is over, because you can't take anything there now, and I'm gonna
that whole pile.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start piling it up, and when they open, I'll take some to them, and away we go. But it feels good to do that, though. I was a scrapbooker, and I had a lot of stuff, and this is my office, and I don't scrapbook anymore, but I have way too much stuff, and it's time for it to go, and so that's what I'm working on too. So, yeah. Well, anybody else? Go ahead, Lauren. Lauren, tell who you are, because everybody doesn't know everybody.
Okay, my name is Lauren. I live near Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This will be hopefully my first year full-time racing. And I am a flag and communications chief for Midwestern Council Sports Car Club. It's been around for 60 plus years. And my brother is also president of the organization, so I'm heavily involved. I've been around the track my whole life. I grew up, my brother and I still run the car my dad actually built back in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So when obviously I'm not racing, I'm obviously at home, but my boyfriend and I bought a sim rig.
Oh yeah.
A couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. So that's what I've been working on.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously cleaning, I still work full time. I don't work my part-time job right now just because they're closed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but.
Does anybody else? I know Delaney does. Anybody else do sim racing? So, iRacing became a preferred partner of ours about 3 weeks ago, and so I have an account with them because of that. And so obviously I haven't really done anything about it, but I told my granddaughter to get on there and see if she could play around. So she must have gotten on there enough to get her dad to get her. I don't know if she did get a seat, because I think my husband said, yeah, she got the seat. So I haven't seen her rig, but I know that she's on there because I see what she's purchased, And she's got a bunch of cars and a bunch of tracks. And so I think they're getting into it over there at the Snyder household.
Yeah, you can kind of see, this is a picture from my,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
in my office, but yeah, so we have pedals and a seat, steering wheel, there's a shifter on the other side.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I wish my rig was that nice.
And actually, like, surprisingly, it did not cost as much as people probably think that we spent on it. We only spent a couple $100.
Not the
between-
10 or 20,000 that Denny Hamlin probably spent on his. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's just a wheel strapped to a table.
Okay, so Delaney, here's what I'm going to tell you. Timothy Hill, I'm pretty sure it was Timothy Hill, when he won that race, he had his computer monitor and he had the wheel just like attached to the desk. It was nothing fancy, and he still won the race. So I don't think it's about the equipment so much as it's about the driver and how much time, because he's been on iRacing, I think, for a long time. So
I don't know how well you can see this, but that it's not very good. I'll post that later.
okay.
One of my drivers made a homemade seat that's very impressive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have a sim rig over at my house in Eastbrook that's made out of PVC pipe with a turkey seat.
Okay. Hey, it's a seat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I've thought about doing starting an all-female iRacing league.
I bet you'd have a lot. I know Brittany Zamora is doing a lot of iRacing, because I did a podcast with her that'll air here pretty soon. And super nice gal. If you don't know who she is, get on and follow her. She's going to be a name you're going to see right up there, like Haley Deegan, because I think she's kind of the whole package. She's really pretty. She's smart. She's kind of soft-spoken in some ways. But she's a really good race car driver. So Brittany Zamora, you should check her out. So
Yeah, I've heard the name before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina, you've been quiet. What's going on with you guys, your cars, and Camille and all that?
Camille's actually sitting here right now.
Okay.
She can talk to you.
All right.
Right now, I'm finishing up my finals and everything for the semester of college. Next week are my finals, actually. So I'm finishing all that up right now. Kind of just planning, like, sponsorship stuff, maybe for next year, maybe for this year, depending on how things go. I've been trying to figure all that out, just kind of pre-planning stuff. I've been talking to one of the groups at my college, because they have, like, one of the formula teams works on a formula car, races it throughout the year. I've been talking to them about joining when I get back next semester.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so doing a lot of school stuff, but I'm trying to plan everything for racing, so when it does get here, I know I'm ready and
Right.
getting excited for it.
So Camille lives in Battle Creek, but she races. Her mom used to race. She races at Galesburg and Kalamazoo, which is where my granddaughter has raced too. So I've known Camille for a while, and she's actually one of our ambassadors for Kalamazoo Speedway. Audrey's an ambassador. Delaney's an ambassador. And so I'm going to share something with all of you that I put on the ambassador and member page. One of the things that I talked to them about was, your track is going to need more promotion this year than ever once we do get started. And as I'm confident, I'm just believing we're going to race this year. Okay. So once we get started. And so I suggested to the people that were in that group that one of the things also that you could do is, interview or make up a form that has like 6 questions on it. And don't make them all racing questions. Make them like, where's your favorite place to eat? Or, where do you like to go on vacation? Or even some crazy funny questions. And have the driver fill them out. And then it only needs to be 5 or 6 sentences. And you could post it on the racetrack page. You could post it on their page. You could even post it on your own page and just say, hey, did you know that, let's say Audrey, did you know that Audrey races sprint cars at such and such a track? she loves the color pink, and she, you know, her best vacation was here, or, you know, some kind of funny fact about her. What's something people don't know about Audrey? Something like that. And just keep the conversations going on those racetrack pages, because right now the only thing that you're seeing probably is, gosh, I wish we were racing. Yeah, me too. Blah, blah, blah. And it's the same old, same old. But what if you know, and it doesn't have to be just a woman. I mean, it'd be great if you've got women that I could interview, that's even better. But, you know, just interview, send it out to some people that you know that race, and just post some cool stuff on the page, and get people talking about other stuff besides, when are we going to start racing?
Right.
You know, change it up a little bit. So I'm not sick. All of a sudden I have a cough, but I swear I'm not sick. It's just dry.
By the way, my mom's walking back and forth from like the fridge and stuff. So if you see somebody walk around through here, it's just my mom.
So Stephanie, tell us a little bit about where, for the people that don't know you, where you live, and how are you involved in racing?
So I live in Lincoln, Michigan, which is in the, like the northeastern part of it, really rural community and everything else like that. My boyfriend and I are both essential workers right now, so we both work. You know, we're still going to work every day. He works for the road commission, so he's more of an on-call basis or whatever. But we drag race, but we drive 3.5 hours to drag race. You know, so we have to do a really long track, you know, long haul just to go racing over at Northern Michigan Dragway on the other side of the state and everything else like that. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of work on, you know, he's been doing a lot of work on his car because he's been off work and as needed or whatever, and trying to get ready and hoping that we can both go racing this year. You know, last year I had to take the full year off because of doing chemotherapy and everything else like that. So I was really looking forward to going back this year, but if I don't, I don't. It's, you know, it is what it is. So, and hopefully be better for next year.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Yeah, I was out of part of last year. Because it was like third weekend, I totaled the whole front end of my car. So I was out part of last year, and then I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune condition. So I've been trying to go through that.
Yeah.
While building my car for this year.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. You know, both of us race, so we're working on 2 vehicles or trying to work on 2 vehicles, and there's only so many hours in a day.
Right. And you've got to have some downtime, some relaxed time too. You know, it's something that I'm observing, or something crossed my mind while I was sitting here listening to all of you share, is that, you know, we all, as my sister would say, we all have stuff. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but we all have stuff that we have to deal with. And so, you know, even more so now, we don't know what other people are dealing with. And even more reason to be and stay connected. So, you know, I was just thinking about you, Stephanie. Yeah, I'd forgotten about you going through, you know, treatments. And I mean, there's just people that have gone through stuff. And another good reason to really pay attention when people post things. I always used to say, listen to life with send out card ears. You know, you need to listen when you have a conversation with someone. You know, they might say, oh, I love riding my horse, but I can't right now because, or I love doing this, or, you know, my brother just did this. And that's called listening to life with send out card ears. And if you can, you know, retain some of that and then reach out to them in a week or two and say, hey, just wondering how things are going. Have you gotten to ride your horse yet? That will mean so much to those people, that you took the time not only to remember what was important to them, but that you reached out to them. So I just can't encourage you enough to stay connected. If you're not connected already, get connected. Find some people that you haven't talked to in a long time and get connected to them, because if nothing else good comes out of this time of kind of isolation in some ways, I hope it is that when we are able to be together, that we treat people more kindly, that we try to understand where they might be coming from instead of being so quick to criticize. So that's my preaching. Look, Karen, I'm preaching tonight, but that's just, I've had this on my mind and I just wanted to share it with whoever was coming on to listen.
Amen to that.
Okay. So, well, it's almost 9 o'clock. I just want to tell you, I appreciate so much that all of you came on and got on. And I want to share this on our podcast. Is everybody okay with me sharing this?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it'll just be the audio on the podcast, so they won't see our faces or anything. But I uploaded. I've spent 3 entire days going back, Drew and Woody, back to the beginning of when I first started interviewing on their Midwest Compact Touring Series show called Compact Weekly. They invited me to interview some women on their show. So once a week I would interview a gal for like 15 minutes or so. And then they encouraged me to start my own show, which I did. But the funny thing is that I had saved the link to every one of those shows in an Excel file. And when I found it, I thought, oh, these are not still going to be good. But every one of them, I was able to bring up those shows and record them. And so they're all on Racing Girls Rock. So if you want to go to Podbean or Spotify or iTunes, put in Racing Girls Rock and you can listen to any of them. Now, some are better than others, and but they're all out there. Follow us, share it. I'd love to see those numbers go up on the podcast. So if you can do that to help me, that would be awesome. So.
Oh, that totally jogs my memory, because I think I was scheduled to be on that show and I was on it, but it was during the middle of a thunderstorm here in Maine, so my internet kept going in and out.
Yeah, I haven't even listened to all of them, so my goal is to go back through and listen to each one, and if there's some that are really, really bad, then I'll take them off, but otherwise I'll leave them on there. People understand. So
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm going to schedule one of these for next week. I think it'll be in the evening again, because that seems to be a better time. Maybe like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I'll kind of change it up so that different people can get on. I know
evening, I think most people are getting off work, so that's when it's best.
And I know there were a couple gals iRacing tonight, so they couldn't get on.
I'm actually in a charity iRace. I actually have to race into it.
Okay.
To be actually in the major field. It's actually this Saturday. I don't know what the time is, but I know it's this Saturday. I'm having to actually race into a charity iRace.
Cool. That's cool. It's a big deal, people. The whole iRacing thing has gotten crazy. I wish I had stock in Zoom and iRacing and I could retire. But I didn't foresee any of that. So, well, I'm going to say goodnight. I really appreciate all of you coming on, taking this hour out, because I know even though we're quarantined and that, we are busy and most of you are all working. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate the support you give the IWMA. I couldn't do it if it wasn't for all of you. So thanks again. And I'll post the link probably over the weekend for the day next weekend. And if you can get on and you can invite somebody else to get on, that would be great.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.